All right. It's been a couple minutes, so let's get started. I know people are still coming in, but we'll get going. So welcome everyone to today's episode of The Uplink. I'm Jacob Swin. I'm the product marketing manager at Helium, and I'm really excited today to have the team from Door and Constellation here to talk about, like it says, digital doorways, how they are using the Helium network to track retailer foot traffic nationwide, which is really cool. So they're helping to optimize your shopping experience so you don't have to wait in long lines, which, I drives me crazy when I have to do that. Anyway, a couple quick things. I'm going to do just a few Helium like intros, overviews, stuff like that, talk a little bit about what we did in 2021, what we're looking forward to in 2022. Then I'm going to hand the keys over to Michael and Ben, and they're going to introduce themselves and talk more about Door and, like I said, how they're using the Helium network to track retail foot traffic. And then we'll have a Q&A at the end. If you have any questions during the presentation, feel free to drop those in the chat and we'll pull what we can. Always happens, we run out of time, but there will be some contact info on a slide from me. I'm sure Michael and Ben will have contact info for you guys if you want to reach out and follow up with them. All right, so a little about Helium. Helium was founded in 2013 by Sean Fanning and Amir Helium, and their mission was to make it easier to build decentralized wireless networks. And we've now built the world's largest decentralized wireless network, which is awesome to say. And we wouldn't have been able to do that without the help from some of the best VC firms in the world. You can see some of their names right here: Khosla Ventures, GV, formerly Google Ventures, Mark Benioff. Lots of different people have helped out, but we're really thankful to them for kind of making this vision a reality. A little about the Helium network. I love this slide. I say it every time, but I'm constantly having to update these stats because they're growing just so quickly. They're probably out of date right now, and I updated them 15 minutes ago. But last I checked, we were a little over 536,000 hotspots in over 41,000 cities and 163 countries around the world. So it's amazing to see the really unprecedented growth the network has and has continuing to go. I wrote a blog when I first started back in May of 2021. We were at like 24,000 hotspots. So less than a year later, we're over 500,000, which is amazing. Some major kind of key differentiators for the network, if you aren't really familiar with Helium, if you're not using the network yet, there are really low data transfer costs associated with using the network. Our kind of standard example is a device that sends data every 5 minutes over the network costs around $1 per year. So really, really low cost to transfer data. And you only pay based on usage. So there are no like costly contracts, subscription services, anything like that you get locked into. You pay when you send data over the network. It's also really easy to get up and running on Helium. Pretty much any compatible off-the-shelf LoRaWAN device that runs on the network, you can buy it, pick it up off the shelf and get going. Get in on Helium console, set that device up and start sending your data. So very simple to get started with. And also Helium is open source. Everything's open source. You can find everything on GitHub, all the code, all our projects, everything. So it just allows users a lot of different resources. There are tons of different open source projects. You can avoid things like vendor lock-in. There's a lot of different things that you can do because of the open source nature of the network, which is really cool. And we have a great community that contributes to that. So thank you to those guys. Few things just to talk about, some really big things that happened in 2021. Like I said, the network growth, 2021 started out with 14,000 hotspots and we hit 400,000 by December of 2021. So just incredible growth. That means incredible coverage, just expanding all across the world. So you can pretty much use Helium anywhere you're at in the world. Obviously there are some exceptions, but that's continuing to grow and those exceptions will probably be, cut down a lot soon. We've added a lot of different users and partners to our ecosystem. I just have a few listed there, but partners like Door, you can check that out on our Helium ecosystem page, but so many different solutions being enabled by the network. We've got all types of different tracking, air quality monitoring, smart cities, smart mailboxes, retailer foot traffic monitoring, all those types of things, which without the Helium network might not have been possible. So really exciting to see that. And it's awesome to see all the different things that people come up with and do on the network. In June, I believe, hope I'm getting that right, we had staking validators come live. So as the network just continues to grow, the validators have really helped kind of stabilize that, and will continue to do that. The city of San Jose in September was the first city to officially partner with Helium. I personally think this is an awesome use case just because it's really tangible. You can just see how Helium is helping people basically. So San Jose is deploying Helium hotspots or Helium compatible hotspots. The earnings from those hotspots are going to subsidize internet access for low-income families, low-income households. So it's helping people while providing coverage with Helium. So that's awesome. We partnered with Dish and FreedomFi for Helium 5G coming soon, but Dish became the first major provider to partner with Helium for 5G. So that, again, coming soon. It's on my list of 2022 things to look out for, but really exciting to see that. Also, 2022, we've got light hotspots coming up. We've added roaming partners. We've got Actility, Senate. We just announced Extelia last week. So more and more roaming partners coming on board and using the network, driving usage on the network. Like I said, Helium 5G, and then just a major kind of initiative for us is looking at the 3G shutdowns happening, if they haven't already happened, and just kind of making note of why Helium might be a good choice for people who are currently using 3G for their IoT deployments. If you are using cell, using something else for IoT, if you're using 3G, I would recommend checking out helium.com/switch. And you can also shoot me an email if you have any questions about this. But like AT&T, for example, their 3G network is sunsetting February 22nd. So that's coming up pretty soon. So if you're on AT&T 3G, pretty important to pay attention to that date. All right, like I said, some recent news. I announced Extelia as our newest roaming partner. We announced last week. We announced some new partners, DataGovs, who I believe we have an uplink episode with them 2 days from now, and Door, who's here with us today, going to talk, but one of our newest partners. And then again, that huge milestone of 500,000 hotspots. We hit that, last week, and we've already blown by to almost 540,000. So awesome to see that growth. And with that, we'll do, like I said, a Q&A at the end, but now I'm going to hand the keys over to Michael and Ben and let them tell their story and talk a little bit about what they're doing with Door and Constellation.
Thanks, Jacob. Great to meet everybody in the Helium network. This is really exciting for us. My name is Ben Jorgensen. I'm the CEO of Constellation Network. We acquired Michael Brand's company, Door Technologies, about June of last year. And really kind of spent the last 6 months integrating it into our ecosystem and offering. So I'm going to go ahead and share our screen.
Yep, and I'm the founder of Door, and I'm the chief product officer over at Constellation.
So to kick things off, we're walk through a little bit of the agenda. We're going to do an introduction to Constellation Network, our Door foot traffic sensor, and then we're going to go into a little demonstration of how we're connected to the Helium network, and then kind of showcase what's up next with Constellation and how we're taking the Door foot traffic sensor powered by Helium into our crypto ecosystem. So Michael, I'll let you kick it off and go over Door for businesses.
Yep. So start things off, I'll cover what Door is. So in really simple terms, Door is a box that you stick on the doorway of a store, and it counts when customers go in and out. If you hop to the next slide here. So very simple, but it took a lot in execution, and it has pretty big implications for the business owners themselves. So this is actually the world's first and still the only thermal sensing battery operated people counter. I have one right here, if you can see on the little window. Peel and stick, fits in the palm of your hand. We sell to all kinds of retailers, everything from SMB mom and pop retailers all the way up to big box enterprises that use our system. And this foot traffic data empowers all kinds of metrics from peak traffic in stores, peak hours, conversion rates, marketing effectiveness. We actually have over 2,000 businesses using our system today. So one of the reasons so many businesses jump onto our system, one is the ease of installation. All of our competitors are camera-based solutions. They require cabling. You have to hire a crew to come in and do a professional installation. You have to play around with the hotspot and Wi-Fi system to get it connected to the internet. Our system is made to be as simple and seamless as possible. And actually, the current system has two parts. It has the sensor itself, and it also has a cellular base station that you plug in anywhere in the store. So you might be able to guess at this point about the Helium partnership. By making the next version of our sensor on Helium, we can remove the base station entirely. And now we'll just have a single device. It's battery powered. It actually lasts for over a year on its set of batteries. So you replace them annually. It just makes it really quick and easy to collect a relatively difficult to collect data set. A little more about how we did this. The company is actually 6 years old, and we've been in the market for about 4 years. And a lot of that time was spent developing our technology. So it doesn't use cameras, but it does detect human body heat. It has 3 different sensors on board. It's running neural nets on the device in order to crunch all the data and actually accurately count people walking into and out of a space. So as I mentioned before, the new version of this is to put it onto LoRa's network, make it even easier, or onto Helium's network, make it even easier and quicker to get up and running. Cool. So reiterate how it works. You just peel and stick it above the doorway of a store. The data flows into the dashboard, and now you have metrics to make larger decisions about your business. Pretty straightforward. And here, Ben's going to bring up a little video demo I have of the actual device itself and our prototypes using the Helium network to send data packets.
All right, so right here, we have our first generation of door foot traffic sensor and base station. So if you don't know, this is a device we created at my previous company that was acquired by Constellation that is a battery-powered foot traffic counter. So you peel and stick it on the doorway of a business, and it counts how many people come in and out. And we provide analytics for the shop owner. The other piece we have here is a cellular base station, and that's how the data is sent back to our servers. Through Helium and the next generation of the sensor, we're actually going to be able to completely remove this and have a single piece that runs on Helium's network. It's going to be even easier to set up to install, and it's going to open the gates for a whole bunch of other real-world applications where we collect data in the physical world and easily send it back to our hypergraph network. So I just kind of want to show you it working in action here. If you look at this, this is what we call the Franken board, and I'll walk you through what we're looking at here. This is actually the main circuit board that's inside of our sensor. And right here, you see the addition, which is the LoRaWAN Helium module. So this looks like it's big, but it's actually just to make it easy to debug and to work with directly. Really, the only addition to this main circuit board in the production version will be this chip. You also see here, we've got what we call the umbilical board. It connects to our main device just for debugging, allows our computer to talk to it. We have a little programming module, and all of this feeds back to our system. In addition, I've got a Helium base station set up in here, but we are in San Francisco right now, so we actually have about 20 different hotspots that we can connect to. So what I'm going to do here, we've got a button on the device. We set it up so this button will force the device to check into our servers. And so this check-in is going to be over Helium LoRaWAN. So I just click the button here. And you can see the data packet just came through. So that was connecting over Helium. The data packet came into our system. This is just the Helium console where we can actually see the device check-in. And then as the final step, I can show you our own administration panel. If we look in here, here's a previous check-in for the device. I'll refresh this page. And we can see 3:55 p.m., which is what time it is. The payload came in.
Cool. That's our prototype in action, and we're going to have that all built up and shipping out to folks by the end of this year.
Thank you, Michael. That was an awesome demo, and I love what we put together. So I encourage everybody to come and join us in what we're building over at Constellation. Our Telegram handle is the Constellation community, as you can see below. If you're interested in learning more about the door traffic miner, you can come to our website at constellationnetwork.io. Retailers, if you're a brick and mortar retailer and you're looking for analytics to improve your business and provide more insights, you can go to getdoor.com. And we welcome the Helium network to come into our ecosystem. That's a little bit of Constellation and Door.
All right. Thank you, Ben. Look, you guys, I saw a lot of "this is epic, this is so cool" comments in the chat there. So nice work. People are excited about this. Hey, I had a question for you guys. I know that Door received a grant from the DY, correct? Can you guys, a lot of people in the community may not even be familiar that that's something available. Can you guys talk a little bit about that process, how it helped you out, just how people can look into that?
Yeah, so I got connected to the DY folks, and it was an awesome experience. So we, submitted a grant and got approved. That actually helped kickstart our development for building the Helium version of this sensor. We've also worked with them for resources from a technical perspective, questions on the best chips to use, even reviewing some of our code. And it's exciting because we're also going to open source a lot of the modules that we build so that other people can use them. We're a pretty unique case too, in that we're much higher bandwidth than a typical application. So we'll also be releasing how that works, and hopefully we can collaborate with other projects that also utilize a very high bandwidth.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's been great working with the foundation's been great. We've talked to a lot of people over there and collaborating even in deeper ways between each other's ecosystems, which I think is a fantastic way. When we all think about cross-chain interoperability, here's a real world example, right? Here's something that has a tangible outcome of interoperability that's going on between Constellation Network and Helium Network, and then kind of the operational collaboration and cross-pollination is pretty awesome to see come into existence.
Great, thank you. I did see a couple questions in the chat also, just asking about the foot traffic. How much traffic can the device handle in a single doorway? Like, is there a limit to what it can handle when it's tracking? I did see a few people ask that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, volume, accuracy, all of that stuff. So the technology itself can track multiple people at the same time, and it does get directionality. So if 3 people walk in, it'll actually count all 3. We've got locations that have done upwards of 10,000 events in a single day. So we can get pretty high flow. What we can't do is if there's an actual line standing in the doorway, we track the movement of someone into it. But it can be very high volume. Our average accuracy is about 90%. In some cases, will be anywhere from 80% up to 97% in ideal conditions.
Wow. No, very cool. Very cool. Just a little bit about working with Helium in the future. Are there specific things that you're seeing? I talked about some things we're looking to do in 2022. Are there things that you're excited about that Helium's doing that's going to kind of help with what Door and Constellation's doing? I know you talked a little bit about this already, but there are specific initiatives kind of that you see coming up that you're super excited about?
Yeah, well, so the immediate one that I love is that we can internationalize. Right now, we typically have only sold to North America, so now we can go global because of this. And the 5G, I want to be first in line to get that into the version that comes after this.
Nice.
Yeah, on some other fronts, we have an accelerator program where we walk through businesses that are looking to build out a cryptocurrency or a blockchain application And we push them through a 10-week program that educates them on building a white paper, treasury management, really the ins and outs. Sorry.
I forgot to do that. My fault.
I was like,
No
oh, what
worries.
happened? We walked people through the ins and outs. And so we're kind of in early conversations on how do we get Helium involved into a lot of these companies that we're incubating and accelerating to build on the constellation and show kind of that cross collaboration that can occur. So still in early conversations, but that's something that we do on our side, is to educate more people on what it's like to build a business on a blockchain. It's a complicated world, and there's a lot of new technologies out there, and we don't think that we're a one-stop shop. We want to be interoperable with everybody.
Okay. I did see one, again, talking about just asking, how do you measure conversions? And you guys might have kind of covered that a little bit already, but some people had a question just like measuring conversions with the foot traffic.
Oh yeah, that's a cool one, because it's all about data and data integrations, right? So we can actually calculate conversion, which is the percentage of people who walk in and actually make a purchase by integrating with the point of sale system. So we actually have a whole separate, and with the major POS system, it's a one-click integration. And we can pull in the number of transactions, and then we can divide that by the number of people who walked in. So super powerful metric for retailers.
Nice. And again, I think this was in McKenna's blog announcement too, but do you want to talk a little bit about just some of the brands and the stores who have implemented this technology already and how it's specifically helping them?
Yeah, definitely. So we've got an app on Shopify. So we've got a couple of hundred different mom and pop locations all using us, and all the way up to, enterprise businesses. Aaron's Furniture is actually a store that uses us in hundreds of locations. So we have the whole slew, and everyone uses it, at the end of the day, for kind of similar things, right? It's for staffing optimization. It's to make better decisions about your business. It's also about marketing. So it's been cool, and we see all kinds of different use cases. What's exciting about the DTM is opening it up also beyond retail. We've had people put these in bathrooms that they know when to clean them, right? Because there's no camera on it. It's HIPAA compliant, so we've been in hospitals before. All kinds of cool applications for the sensors.
Very cool. So if people want to talk about like pricing and purchasing stuff like that, is the best way just to contact you guys?
Yep. Yeah, contact us. Yeah, if you want to be a crypto miner and run one of these, we've got the landing page set up. And then on getdoor.com, if you're a retailer, you can give us your information there. So kind of two sides there, right? We've already got retailers lined up who want a miner to come deploy a DTM in their location.
Gotcha. I know, did you guys have some questions, Michael, coming in at all? Were there things you wanted to cover? I couldn't remember before, but I think that's a lot of the questions from the chat. I just have a lot of people saying how excited they are and how much they want to learn more about this. So nice work to you guys.
Yeah, Jacob, I would love to hear from your perspective. Why are you guys excited about this? What kind of opens the door, no pun intended, or maybe pun? I feel like all I do is do these puns now.
Good pun, yeah.
But what gets Helium excited? Like, what's kind of capturing your attention, and how do we become a good partner to you guys?
No, I think that the more Helium can kind of showcase the real world use cases that the network can provide and the solutions that it can provide, that shows that the network is real to people, for lack of a better phrase there. I mean, it shows that it can be used in real life to help businesses, help people out. And that's something that kind of really differentiates Helium from a lot of other crypto companies and things like that. Like, we actually have those real world use cases, which are really cool to see. And so like you guys bringing something like, we don't have anybody tracking foot traffic anywhere. That hasn't been something that's been shown on the network at all. So it's a brand new solution being provided. And again, that just kind of provides legitimacy for the network and shows people like, Helium has some crypto aspects to it, but it's also real world use cases that are helping people out and helping businesses optimize operations and things like that. So, that's my take on it. I think just providing that value to the network by showing that this stuff is available to people in the real world and can help people out, which is really cool.
That's great. And I think we're fostering a community that focuses on real world use cases and really pushes the envelope in terms of what you can do with blockchain technology and cryptocurrency and incentives and rewards. So I think a lot of cool stuff is coming out of our accelerator program. We did, 35 companies in our first cohort. We're scheduled to do another 35 companies coming in March. So I think you're going to see some cool use cases that are activated by IoT that reimagine cryptocurrency and blockchain technology in a whole new way, and will be amazing use cases for Helium.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Looks like, again, we've got a lot of people just excited. They want to talk more with you guys about this stuff. If you also want to talk more about Helium, here's just some links here. Whoops, that's Travis at Helium. He hosted for me one day. My email is just Jacob at Helium, pretty easy to memorize. Mark at helium.com is our vice president of biz dev. Join our Discord community, check it out. You can learn a lot, great resources, a really huge community, over 100,000 members. Join us on Twitter, follow us on Twitter, check us out at GitHub. Like I said, it's all open source. You can contribute, you can learn more about the network and what we're doing on the network. And with that, Ben, Michael, I just want to say thanks for coming on. That was really cool. And again, you guys are probably going to get a lot of people contacting you after this. So nice work.
Well, thanks, Jacob. Thanks, McKenna. This has been awesome. And it's really fun to meet a new ecosystem out there.
All right.
Thanks so much. It was a blast.
Absolutely. We'll see everyone next time on the Uplink. Bye.